60% of men lose their hair by age 35. Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots yet? How will you feel a year from now if it's business as usual up there? I ask you, do you want a bald spot to pop up, or do you want to do something about it first? Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? Why do guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn to medicine and science? A one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. You know what that is? ForHims.com. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions backed by science. No waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visits. Saves hours by going to forhims.com. That's what's going to save you hours. So listen up. It's so easy. Answer a few quick questions. Doctors will review and can prescribe you. Products are shipped directly to your door. So please, listen to what I'm saying. Order now. My listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/Stephen A. That's forhims, FORHIMS.com/Stephen A. Forhims.com/Stephen A. That's with a PH, not a V.
Peter Manning NYC makes clothes for the not-so-tall guy. Pants with shorter inseams, shirts you can wear untucked, and jackets that don't fit like a tent. Check out PeterManningNYC.com and discover a great fit. Use code ESPN for 20% off your order.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm Stephen A. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. This year we celebrate 6 years and over 600 cars given to veterans, giving thanks by providing independence for those who protect it. Learn more at keystoprogress.com. Also, tune in for college football action tomorrow as Stanford battles California, presented by Dr. Pepper. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPNradio.com, and the ESPN app. I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing before I watch that game. Before I watch Stanford, California, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have my face glued to the television because tomorrow afternoon in New York City, at Yankee Stadium, of all places, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish will go up against the Syracuse Orange, coached by Dino Babers, who is on the line with me right now. Head coach for Syracuse, Dino Babers. He's on the line. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man?
Stephen A., how are you doing this morning, sir?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm incredibly proud, sir. I mean, listen, all I know is this. I showed up for a speech. I had the pleasure of hanging with you, meeting you and your team, hanging with my old boss, your boss now, John Wildhack, the athletic director at Syracuse. And the next thing I know, y'all 8-2, beating up a lot of people. Coach, I want to know, first of all, how do you feel about how the season is going thus far?
I'll tell you what, the season has gone extremely well. Obviously, we're disappointed about the 2 losses. In both those losses, we had leads in the fourth quarter. But if it comes to us having seasons like this, I'm going to have to write that check to have you come speak to us a lot more.
You know, I'm looking, Coach, and I got to admit to you, I expect you guys to have a good season, but I didn't know how good it was. I think the offense has been pretty explosive. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from Dungy and a few others. Talk to me about what has excited you most about this season thus far.
You know what? I really think your talk really hit some key chords with the football team. And you know how you opened up. I've already heard you on Mike and Mike this week, and you talked about the last 3 games and what that meant and what happened. And I'll tell you what, I think they really took it to heart. This is a very close football team. They're a family. They're a La Familia in Ohana. And, sometimes, as we like to say in our program, you need to put a light on it. And I think you put a light on something that kind of got some people really kind of irked. And I think they've gone out, they've done some things that's really helped this football season.
We're talking to Dino Babers, head coach for Syracuse, right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. And what he's alluding to was when I spoke to the Syracuse Orange before the season began, and I talked about how they gave up 162 points the last 3 games of the regular season last year. And I said, that's not about coaching. I watched you guys play. You guys were in the right places. You were just getting beat. And you're right. It seems like they took it to heart. I tell you this for me, Coach. I watched you guys against Clemson, and even though that was a loss, I was so proud because I thought y'all played good on both ends, both sides of the ball, and you really went after it, but it just didn't work out for you in that 27-23 loss. I got a little worried when you lost the next week to Pitt and you gave up 44. What happened in that game, and what did you say to them after that led to the present 4-game winning streak that you're on?
Well, first of all, Pitt had a nice job. Obviously, they ran the football, they made some plays, and they won an overtime game. And there's nothing you can see. If you go into overtime, if you let a game go into overtime, you're going to have a chance to lose it or a chance to win it. And so my hat's off to them. And it looks like they're going to, if they win on Saturday, they're going to have an opportunity to win the other side of that division. And ironically, the 3 years that I've been here, we have played the champion on the other side of the division, the 3 years. Our first year was Virginia Tech. The second year was Miami.
Okay.
And this year was Pitt. So it's amazing that no matter what the schedule is, we seem to catch the cream of the crop on the other side. But that's just a happening. When it comes back to the other things, we had a bye after that, Stephen A. And, we could have took it easy on them, or we could have been hard on them. And I thought about all those giant words that you were using in your speech that all started with the letter A. And I said, you know what? I've had enough of this. That I'm going to agree with you. And we went back to some old school, tough love football for a bye week. And it really made guys decide either get on board or get the hell out of the way. And I think a lot of guys felt the exact same way that I did, and we've been basically undefeated ever since.
Talk to me about Eric Dungey, your quarterback. He's completed 60% of his passes, got about 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season. But clearly, he's also your second lead in rush. He's rushed for almost 700 yards this year. I mean, this guy clearly is capable of making plays with his feet. But coming into this season, there was noise about whether it would be him or DeVito as your quarterback or whatever the case may be. What are your thoughts about Dungey, how he's performed this year and how he's grown since last year?
I think the biggest thing about Dungey's Dungey's never had competition at this position. He came in as a backup as a freshman. The starter got hurt. He became the starter. His second year, there was no one here capable of beating him out. His third year here, DeVito was here, but he was playing so well. Then it got later on in the season, you didn't have the rule where a guy could play 4 games for free, and then DeVito was redshirted. DeVito's good. And I think the competition that DeVito and Dungey's had in practices has really helped Dungey to remember what it's like to be hungry, to be the dog that wants the bone. And I think we're seeing the best of Dungey right now, and I think some of that stuff has to do with DeVito.
I just finished talking to Tim Tebow a little bit earlier this morning on my television show. First Take comes on every weekday from 10 a.m. to noon East Coast time. Mo Neal, I brought up the fact he's averaging better than 6 yards a carry. He's got about 712 yards on the season. I said, could Notre Dame, this is a big game coming up, obviously. How do you beat those guys? Running the football, Tim Tebow said, no. He said, whether it's a Riley, whether it's a guy like, Cuttis or whomever the case may be, Syracuse beats you with the big play. That's who they are. When you talk about this big time matchup, you're going up against the Fighting Irish, tomorrow afternoon. What's going to be the key to that victory? Is it going to be running the football? Is it going to be, doing the big play? What's it going to be, Coach?
I really think it's going to be playing as a team. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be valleys. There's going to be emotional swings. How about this for the state of New York? There's going to be some snowballs out there. And some of them are going to be really big and some are going to be really small. We need to be able to handle it. And I think the team that handles it the best is going to give themselves the best opportunity to win. Turnovers are going to be big. The kicking game is going to be big. And people talk about big plays, but I don't think you get an opportunity to make big plays unless you make a whole bunch of small plays.
Talk to me about your defense, Coach. I've been, I've watched them, and I see your boy Clayton, and I see Alton Robinson. He's got 9 sacks on the season. Coleman's got about 7 sacks on the season. But I liked, in spots anyway, what I've seen from this defense. How are you feeling about this defense now, particularly considering how y'all ended the season last year?
It's really been the key to our season. That D-line that you're talking about, those guys are the real deal. Alton Robinson, Kendall Coleman, 3-technique, Chris Slayton, Josh Black. I mean, those guys are real. Those guys are the real deal. McKinley Williams, those guys can play. And we're young at other positions. But the O-line and the D-line is what's been carrying this football team, and that's what gives us a chance. If we were weak in those 2 areas going against Notre Dame, we probably would have no chance. But since we're strong in those areas, we're like Dumb and Dumber. We've got a chance.
Dino Babers, head coach for Syracuse, right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News, getting set to go up against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the number 3 ranked team in the nation. If the season were to end today, Notre Dame would be in the college football playoffs. How big of a game do you believe this is for your program? Because people could look at you right now, Coach, and say 8-2. You went 4-8 your first 2 seasons at Syracuse. Now you're 8-2. So some could have the mentality you're playing with house money, but I imagine that's not your mentality at all. How big of a game is this for you and your program in your estimation?
Stephen, people want to make it a big game. It's a big game because Notre Dame is so good and we seem okay. And they've got an opportunity to do something they haven't done in a long time. I get it. Because it's in Yankee Stadium, it's big. Because you're playing a team that's undefeated, it's big. Those guys are big. They're strong. They're good, and they got a lot of tradition. It's going to be it's a hard task in front of us. Is it doable? Yeah. If they help us out, it's doable.
If they help you out, if that's what you said, Coach. If they help you out,
it's doable. But the cool thing about football is you don't have to play a 7-game series. You only got to play once, and it's not the best team that wins. It's the team that plays the best on that Saturday, and we need to play extremely well if we're going to be able to compete with a team that's done the things that Notre Dame's done this year.
Coach, it's one thing to play on a neutral field if you're in a bowl game or, you're in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. But for a regular season game, how do you feel about playing at Yankee Stadium in New York City as opposed to at Syracuse or at Notre Dame?
Okay, I really wanted to play at Notre Dame. I really wanted the seniors to have an opportunity to play at Notre Dame because it's a special. I haven't played there. I've coached there, and it's a special place. And it's really cool to be old with grandkids and to be able to say when that stadium comes on TV to say, "Hey, I played in that stadium." So I'm really disappointed that they've never had an opportunity to play them. Now, besides that, having an opportunity to play in Yankee Stadium, that stadium is going to be on TV for the rest of your life. So this is a story that hasn't been written yet that could have a happy ending that they could be telling for a lifetime.
Dino Babers, head coach of Syracuse, right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Just a couple more questions before I let you go, Coach. Let's talk about you for a second, because obviously this is your 3rd season at Syracuse. You're doing a hell of a job this year. I'm so proud of the job that you're doing, and it was an honor and a privilege to meet you and talk to your football players. But I got to ask you about how are you feeling about yourself and your program right now and the direction it's heading in. I imagine it's very good because obviously, even though you took over a program and you have to build it and it takes time, anytime you're not winning, you're going to feel some kind of pressure, some kind of heat. I want to know what things were like for you walking into this season and how you're feeling about it now.
Well, we had the big win over Virginia Tech in 16. We had the win over Clemson at 17. But we were occasionally great. We weren't consistently good. And I could see how people would say, hey, you hadn't proved anything. You haven't done anything yet. But my feeling, you can check the record books. You go back and check the tapes. The day after we lost to Boston College, I walked in, or maybe the day we lost to Boston College, I went into the press conference and told everybody that this team was going to be special. Now, I had faith, belief without evidence. I didn't have any evidence of that because this season hadn't came yet.
Right.
But I knew what I had in that locker room, and I knew how those young men felt, and I felt like we had more than a chance to do something special. And This is a close group. This is a close unit. If we divided everybody and played them individually as 22 individuals, they probably would kick our tail. But the really cool thing is we don't have to do that. We get to play them as a team, as a family, with our names on the back of our jerseys. And because of that cohesiveness, we're going to have a chance.
What are you going to do against Notre Dame tomorrow afternoon, sir?
I'll tell you what, we're going to play a football game. We know they're going to be physical. We're going to try to match that physicality, and we're going to try to keep it close in the fourth quarter. And they're going to have the luck of the Irish, and hopefully we'll have some luck of our own and see who gets lucky last.
Coach, near the tail end of my show yesterday, I reminded the world that I went on Golick and Wingo's show earlier that day, and I guaranteed that Syracuse is going to knock me. It's an emotional decision, I know it, but damn it, I'm rooting for y'all, and I'm not apologizing for it, okay? I've got Syracuse beating Notre Dame tomorrow afternoon at Yankee Stadium and knocking them out of the playoffs. I need you to tell your team I said that.
You know what? I'm going to tell them you said that, Stephen A. And I tell you what, if you can predict stuff like that, brother, I'll write you a check every year, whether you come or not.
I appreciate it, Coach. Good luck tomorrow afternoon, man. And thank you so much for taking time out to be on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Stephen A., appreciate you, man. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, buddy. The one and only Coach Dino Babers right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. I'm really rooting for him. I really, really am. I can't deny it. I can't deny it. It was great speaking to those kids at Syracuse, coming off a back-to-back 4-8 seasons. What they were talking about, again, we alluded to it earlier, and I spoke to Golick and Wingo earlier this week. When I gave the speech up there to those kids, I walked up to there at Syracuse and invited by our former boss here at ESPN, John Wildhack, a man that I love very, very dearly, was always very good to me. And I will always appreciate the respect that he treated me with and still does to this very day. I'm just honored to call a man a friend. Here's the deal. I go up there in Syracuse, and you got guys reclining. I mean, they did everything but have their feet up. Had smiles on their face. Everything's good. Everything's cool. Everything's all right. And I said, you feeling good? Yeah. We're feeling good. I said, you feeling good about yourself? Everything's all right? They're like, yeah. Excited about the season that you're going to have? Yeah, we are. Absolutely, Mr. Smith. I said, could y'all mind explaining to me how y'all gave up 162 points in the last 3 games of the season? Last year? Because that's the residue that you left behind. And that's what you have to make up for. You shouldn't be smiling. You should be hungry. You should have a perpetual frown on your face because you're starving, because you got something to prove. You got to go for it. That's what I told them. And I can't say enough about the Syracuse Orange and how proud I am of them and how they played this year. I was a little bit disgusted with them when they gave up 44 to Pittsburgh. I'll admit that. I was very upset because they had like back-to-back. After they lost to Clemson, then they gave up 44 to Pittsburgh and then gave up 41 and 37 to UNC and North Carolina State. I like, nah. That reminds me too much of what I saw last year. But they got their acts together. And I give them mad love and respect for that. As an aside, celebrate fall birthdays and anniversaries with multicolored roses from 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, 1-800-Flowers is offering a bouquet of 24 multicolored roses for $24. To order 24 multicolored roses for $24, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN. I got news for Syracuse. You beat Notre Dame tomorrow at Yankee Stadium and knock off the number 3 ranked team in the nation. Hell, people might be buying you flowers. They might be buying you flowers. So I just think it's important to point that out. It really, really is. And I got news for you. I'm picking Syracuse with the upset. I'm picking Syracuse to pull it off. It's an emotional decision, John, I know. But I'm picking Syracuse to knock off the Fighting Irish on national television tomorrow afternoon at Yankee Stadium. The Syracuse Orange will stand up. They will rise to the challenge. They will answer the call. They understand what's at stake. They're 8-2. They're destined for a bowl game. But damn it, it's not enough. It's not enough. This is what you've been waiting for all your life. This is it right here. This moment. Mo Neal, you hear me? Dungy, you hear me? Clayton, you hear me? This is what it's all about. You waited for this. We all know that when we talk about Syracuse and we're thinking big time, we're usually looking at Jim Boeheim and his basketball program, which, by the way, lost to UConn yesterday, by the way. We're usually looking at the basketball team. We are now looking at the football team in a manner we didn't even think about, y'all, since Donovan McNabb played there, I think. But it is your time. This is what it is. This is what it's about. Don't wilt beneath the pressure. Rise up to it. Put the heat on Notre Dame. Let them feel the heat. Let them feel the orange coming their way. Remind them who the hell you are. And when they sit up there and say they didn't know, you look them back and say, you should have asked somebody. That's what you do. When you want to be a champion, this is how you go about doing it. Syracuse, stand up. Syracuse, stand up. Syracuse, stand up. That's what you do. And I hope Mike Golick is listening to me, since I predicted his Fighting Irish would fall tomorrow afternoon. I will be watching. I will be watching. 888-SAY-ESPN. That is the number to call. This 888-729-3776. Let's go back to the phones, please. Let's go to Sebastian. You're live with Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Stephen A?
I'm good, man. Talk to me.
I'm Sebastian H. Smith. So let me ask you something. Why is Alabama afraid to play UCF? Somebody ain't lost a game now. Ain't lost not one game. But they scared to play somebody with a high power.
Can I ask you a question?
Can
I ask you a question? Did you just say that the number one team in the nation, who is undefeated, who plays in the SEC conference, who has been so dominant in such a fashion that it's been inexplicable to everybody, did you just imply that they're scared of Central Florida?
Yes, literally scared.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day. I don't have time. I really don't have time. Let's go to Ryan. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Ryan?
Did you just say that the
Ryan,
Stephen A., what's up?
Turn down your radio. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. Talk to me. You're over the live national airways, man. Go ahead.
What's up, man?
Go ahead, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You all right?
My man, this is no conversation. You got thousands of millions of people listening to you. Make your point. Come on. Let's go.
Man, I'm calling about Kevin Durant, man.
Go ahead. Make your point.
Well, you said, Kevin Durant is a great player.
Yes.
But Kevin Durant will never be in a class with LeBron until he get on a team where he's the leader and he's leading and he's dominating.
Well, who's the two-time NBA Finals MVP?
Well, I mean, true enough, he is.
Who's one of the greatest scorers in NBA history?
I agree with you.
Well, let me ask you a question. Was Kevin Durant averaging 27 a game before he went to Golden State?
Of course.
Was Kevin Durant in an NBA Finals before he went to Golden State?
Of course.
Was Kevin Durant in the playoffs religiously before Golden State?
Not like he is now.
Well, actually, he hasn't won championships until he got to Golden State. That's fair. Just like LeBron didn't win championships until he got to Miami. But I'm not putting him in the class of LeBron James in terms of all that LeBron James has to shoulder. But I'm just talking about basketball skills, bro. I'm not getting into all that other stuff. Basketball skills wise, Kevin Durant is big time. You do understand that.
Right, but I remember when he was at the University of Texas, he was a good player, but I still feel like...
He was a good player at University of Texas? Good? He won the All-American?
Yeah,
He won the All-American?
Great. All right, great.
Thank you.
But we only played 1 year, though.
So? There's plenty of guys that Anthony Davis only played 1 year at Kentucky.
Okay, he was great. He's a great player now, but he could be even greater if he got on a team where he was the only star on now.
Okay, that's fair. But when's the last time LeBron was the only star on a team? That was about 8-9 years ago. When he was in Cleveland, he had Kyrie and Kevin Love. When he was in Miami, he had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
True.
So all right. So again, the last time LeBron James was the only star on his team was 2007.
They went to a playoff and they won a championship, right?
No, they went to the championship. They won the championship in 2011.
I mean, but they still went.
Well, they went to the finals, yes. And Kevin Durant went to the finals and lost to Miami.
Right.
Have a nice day, man. You're making a petty argument. I don't have time. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Do you have frequent heartburn like the kind where you have antacids stashed everywhere in case it pops up? You know what I mean. You keep some in your bag or your desk or your car or your nightstand. You have those chalky tablets ready for whenever and wherever heartburn strikes. Well, listen up. There's an easier way to deal with your heartburn. That's Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day will last a full 24 hours with zero heartburn. Kick your antacid habit. It's possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. More to Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio in a minute.
Peter Manning NYC makes clothes for the not-so-tall guy. Pants with shorter inseams, shirts you can wear untucked, and jackets that don't fit like a tent. Check out PeterManningNYC.com and discover a great fit. Use code ESPN for 20% off your order.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, is presented by Progressive Insurance. This year, we celebrate 6 years and over 600 cars given to veterans, giving thanks by providing independence for those who protect it. Learn more at keystoprogress.com. Back to the phones we go at 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Aaron. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, Stephen A. I appreciate you giving some love to Kemba Walker earlier today.
He deserves it.
I don't think a lot of people... Yeah, he's averaging close to 29 and 6, so I definitely would like to see him with LeBron James. But I was wondering about Brandon Ingram. You know, here's a guy that's supposed to be a scorer. He hasn't scored, I think, 20 points since high school. And, I mean, what are your thoughts on him and his future with LA?
Brandon Ingram could play, but I've never been a big fan. For me, I've been big on Kyle Kuzma. I think Kyle Kuzma is a better shooter. I think he fits better with LeBron James. And I think they should look to package Ingram with Lonzo and see what you can get for them.
Yeah, I'd like to see Hart start as well over Ingram.
Yes.
I know they want to develop Ingram, but I think Hart's a better fit with LeBron.
I agree.
Ingram,
I agree. And why don't you just tell the truth? You've been listening to this show for quite some time, and you've heard me say that, and you're echoing my comments. It's all right. You can say that.
All right, thanks for the call.
They call me Stephen A. Smith for a reason. Appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Let's go to Destry. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, Des. Hey, Stephen A. I just want to ask how you feel about the statement that Marone Reese made off the Philadelphia Eagles sports announcer. He said,
your signal. Hold on. Whoa. Your signal's terrible. Get your mouth to the phone and speak up so my listeners can hear you. Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm just wondering about your comments that the the Eagles announcer, Merrill Reese, I believe his name is.
Yes.
He said after the blowout, he said, quote, "I hope they're proud of themselves. I would be embarrassed if I was them. They should have let off the dogs." Stephen A., you're in the Superdome. Y'all are the defending Super Bowl champions. I don't care what y'all lost.
I disagree.
I don't care who you lost.
I disagree with Merrill. I disagree with Merrill Reese. I don't care. I mean, the fact of the matter is the Steelers got their butts whipped. I mean, the Eagles got their butts whipped. I don't have any problem with what I saw the Saints do yesterday. The Eagles should have fought better. They embarrassed themselves, and the Eagles, this should be a wake-up call to next week is going to tell me everything I need to know about the Eagles this season. Despite the bevy of injuries that they've had, the reality is you're the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. You have enough weapons to be a little bit better than you've looked. And if you just get waxed by the Saints the way that you did in front of a nationally televised audience, and now you play the Giants, and you can't find a way to step up to that challenge, that tells me all I need to know about you. Appreciate the call. Thanks a lot, man. No problem. Let's go to Chris. You're live with Stephen A. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Stephen A. Just asking you, what do you think about the Packers' chances of making the playoffs yet?
The whose chances?
The Green Bay Packers.
You're not going to the playoffs.
No?
You're 4-5-1. You're not going to win the division because you're not catching the Bears. And because you're not catching the Bears, the only recourse you have is a wild card spot. Do I think you got a shot? Sure. I just don't think this is your season. I think that Aaron Rodgers, having lost 3 or 4, not having the ball. Think about the losses that they've had. You lose to the Rams because Ty Montgomery doesn't take a knee in the end zone and get Aaron Rodgers the ball back with 2 minutes left, for a game winning drive. Okay. Then you're tied 17-17 with New England. Aaron Jones fumbles, all right? And then against Seattle last week, Mike McCarthy takes the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands on a 4th and 2. I mean, look, you look at the personnel decisions, you look at everything. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Green Bay Packers. And I think missing the players could be the best thing for y'all because it's going to elevate the level of urgency that Aaron Rodgers needs to get what he needs. And I think change is coming.
Right.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Sully, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, Sully? How are you?
Hey, Stephen A., how you doing?
I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well because I know why you calling. I'm just going to let you go first and eat my crow. Go ahead.
Oh, please. I just need you to do one thing. I just need you to rise up and bow down to the Fighting Irish. Not the Irish you were talking about, but the Fighting Irish.
Hold on. I won't do that. The reason I won't do that is because it's not like I'm worried about you winning the national championship or anything. You ain't beating Alabama. Let's scratch that. But what happens is, I must confess, if you go on Instagram and Twitter, you'll see videos from the Golic Senior, Golic Junior. My colleagues here at ESPN, great guys, always been great to me. They got me good. I can't go anywhere today. But rather than me telling you, listen to what Golic Senior and Golic Junior did to me on social media this morning. Listen up.
Want to give a quick shout out to friend of the show, Stephen A. Smith, who more often than not, I love hearing his thoughts and opinions on almost anything, except for this one area where he came up woefully short.
Now, you did go on Twitter and you did say, hey, the Golic's got it right, I got it wrong. Come on. Jump on the bandwagon. We got a helmet for you. We got a towel that wipes away that sweat after all your screaming about how Notre Dame was going to lose. Ha!
Notre Dame, stand up. Woo! Stephen A., stand up. Woo! We're in the building.
That hurt. I ain't going to lie. Because it's rare in the day that somebody's got me in and I can't say a damn word. But the Syracuse Orange just got blitzed Saturday. Notre Dame their defense didn't let Syracuse do anything. I know Dungy got hurt in the first quarter, but hell, for all I know, he didn't want to be a part of the beatdown, for crying out loud. That's how walloped Syracuse got this past Saturday. Notre Dame completely destroyed them. I don't give a damn about the 3 points. As far as I'm concerned, it was a 36-0 shutout. Notre Dame did what it wanted, when it wanted, how it wanted. The game was over damn near in the first quarter. And so I look at that and Golic, the Golics warned me. And I got caught up in emotion because I was rooting for my man, John Wildhack, who's the athletic director at Syracuse, who's my former boss here at ESPN. I love him dearly. I like Coach Dino Babers. I think he's done an outstanding job this year. And Syracuse has been about the big play between Dungy and Neal and some of those receivers. They've made things happen, but they showed that there are levels to this. I'm talking about Notre Dame here. There are levels to this, and Brian Kelly has got that program steered in the right direction, and Syracuse is just not on their level, and Notre Dame waxed that butt, plain and simple. They waxed them. I got nothing to say. I got to eat humble pie, Sully, and just take it. It is what it is, bro.
I hear you, Stephen. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Rise up.
No problem. You're right. You're right. You got me. You got me. I can't even deny it. Clint, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, Stephen A.? Love your show, man. You're a legend.
Thank you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, you keep saying how, you want Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram packaged for something else, but, I think Bradley Beal should go to the Lakers and, Brandon Ingram gone, because Lonzo Ball, I don't know what you got against him, but, he's showing real flashes of being a top 10 point guard.
Stop right there. The one thing I've gotten on Lonzo Ball about is his assertiveness, his aggression. If you listen to me, that's just the truth. That's it. Not much else. Let me ask you a question. And we're going to be honest, because you don't want a dial tone, do you, Clint? I'm going to hang up on you if you're not honest with me. You know me, I don't play. So you got to be honest, okay? Lonzo Ball or Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum all day.
Lonzo Ball or De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox. You're right.
Lonzo Ball or Dennis Smith Jr.?
I mean, I got to say Lonzo Ball on that one.
What?
You know what I mean?
What? Over Dennis Lonzo Smith
Ball,
Jr.?
Lonzo Ball shows defensive flashes of being, defensive player of the year in the next 5 years.
Talking about defensive flashes, a team that's given up almost 117 points a game. Don't get me wrong, it's not his fault. I'm not blaming Lonzo. I'm simply saying, come on now. You ain't seen that much defense. He's got length. He's got size in him. He can defend when he commits himself to it. We know that. But at the end of the day, that ain't what you brought Lonzo Ball to L.A. for. You brought him here to reinvigorate Showtime, did you not?
True, but you'd rather have someone like John Wall, who, like you were saying before.
Hold on. I didn't say I'd rather have John Wall. I reported that, you're hearing rumors out there about potential interest from the Lakers, although I don't believe it. That's what I said. I didn't have a preference. Why would anything be a preference for John Wall right now when he's getting paid $169 million? They kick in next year, and already he's having problems without his contract kicking in.
True, but Lonzo Ball seems like a way better asset.
All right. Lonzo Ball or Markkanen in Chicago?
Markkanen, maybe.
Stop right there. Stop, because you're going to start lying and I'm going to hang up on you because you just said it. Markkanen, stop. Ain't no maybe. Last but not least, Lonzo or Donovan Mitchell?
Oh, man. See, when you keep doing this, of course.
Answer the question. Well, my point to you is this. Here's my point to you. I named you 5 guys that were passed over for Lonzo Ball. 5. All lottery picks. 5. Can you explain that?
Hey, Lonzo Ball, as soon as he develops a shot, he could be a top 10 point guard, top 5 in the West.
Oh, really? So as soon as he develops a shot, okay? That's where we going? As soon as he develops a shot. Meanwhile, what about these other guys developing? They're balling, and they ain't waiting. Think about that. Call me back tomorrow. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on ESPN Radio. By the way, Peloton is a game-changing indoor cycling bike that brings the energy of live studio classes right to your home anytime you want. This holiday, Peloton is the perfect gift for them and you. So give them up to 14 live cycling classes every day and thousands more on demand. With live cycling classes streaming to your home every day, featuring real-time motivation from world-class instructors, Peloton is the perfect gift this season. Peloton's best offer of the year is here for 1 week only. Now through Cyber Monday, get The Works accessories valued at $249. Free when you buy the bike. For more details, see onepeloton.com. Your calls to close out the show in a minute. It's Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News.
Geico presents eyewitness interviews with inanimate objects.
This is Belinda Collins, live on the scene of a recent hailstorm. Here to describe the event, a football.
Bro, I was just hanging on the roof when this gnarly storm starts dropping baseball-sized hail. I mean, the shingles got beat up. A few windows looked broken. It was savage.
Did you do anything to help?
Nah, bro. I was in survival mode.
Your football can't help you in a hailstorm, but the Geico Insurance Agency can help you get covered for personal property damage. Call Geico to see how affordable homeowners insurance can be.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it! Need game tickets? Find your seats at Vivid Seats, the official ticket partner of ESPN. Enter promo code ESPN at checkout and receive 10% off your order today. That's Vivid Seats. A Twitter account by the name of the Black Adam Schefter, that's what he calls himself, sent something out about Lonzo Ball. And it says here, back-to-back solid games for Lonzo Ball. And then it's got the emojis of fire, straight fire. Lonzo Ball over the last 2 games. 2 points, 17% shooting, 0% from three-point range, 6 rebounds, -3 in the game the Lakers won by 16, combined with LeBron for 53 points, because LeBron scored 51. He's only 21, folks. Anybody that calls up about Lonzo Ball, think about that. Carlos, you're live with Stephen A. real quick. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. You only got a minute. Enough with the pleasantries. Okay. Go on. Get to your point.
It's cool, man. I just want to let you know.
Speak up because your signal's breaking up.
When the Lakers pick up Carmelo Anthony, they're going to get the championship with LeBron. And then AD going to come there, too. I just want to let you know. You heard it from me, Stephen A.
Well, I said I got the Lakers going to the conference finals before the season even began. So I don't know if Carmelo will make that kind of a difference. I don't think that's going to be enough to beat Golden State, but I do have the Lakers going to the conference finals. I haven't given up on that. Appreciate the call. Cam, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, Stephen A., I got two things to say to you, man. First thing, I love my Colts. I know we're not going to the playoffs for real this year.
Hold on, I don't know that. You won 4 straight. You're 5-5. You're only 2 games back from Houston. You get a crack at them, and Andrew Luck is balling. I don't know that.
Fire, I know that, but I know it's going to take more than just this year for us to get in any further. You feel me? You know, we need some other pieces. So what else do you think we need to bring in to help out for next year?
Well, listen, I just think you got to continue to buffer your defense and get a running back. But obviously Chris Ballard and Frank Reich has buffered the offensive line. Drafting Nelson in the first round was big time. Andrew Luck is being protected. He's got 3 consecutive games of at least 3 touchdowns. He's been balling. I love what I'm seeing from Andrew Luck. He's reminding us what a star he is when he is healthy. So I'm not sleeping on that at all. I like exactly what I'm seeing from Andrew Luck right now. He's completed 67% of his passes. He's got 29 touchdowns and just 9 interceptions on the year. This is his first game back after missing all of last season. I love what I'm seeing from Andrew Luck, but I'm going to love even more what I'm going to see tonight. Chiefs versus Rams, NFL game of the year. Been looking forward to it. I'm picking the Chiefs to win 41-38. I'll see y'all tonight at the Coliseum. I'll see you tomorrow right here. Until then, peace and love.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.